to talk more about the GNU and the ANC and DA's relationship going forward, we're joined by political analyst Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. A very good evening to you, Professor Mngomezulu. Thank you for your time. I mean, today we listened to ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula saying that it was natural for parties in the GNU to have fundamental disagreements, but they ought to rise above it all in the interests of South Africans. What does that tell us about the current climate within the GNU?
Good evening, Paul, and good evening to your viewers. Yeah, first of all, I must say that the statement by the SG of the ANC is a welcome statement, especially given the fact that the country is watching with a keen interest to see what the end would be in as far as this VAT issue is concerned. And then secondly, I think that the relationship between the DA and the ANC is what has brought us to where we are right now. Mm-hmm. So therefore, which means that all politicians have to be sober-minded and make it a point that they handle this issue in a mature manner as opposed to just politicking for the sake of politicking.
Yeah. The inability to agree on the budget is only one of many factors that have highlighted the significant fractures within the fragile GNU, which we know is still divided over several other pieces of legislation. I mean, what do those loopholes indicate as we assess that this issue is not the only issue, it's one of many others?
You know, Paul, there is something we need to clarify here. Mm-hmm. Right now, the main issue is the budget. Yeah. The other issues that have been on the table should be handled separately. I think this is where the DA has missed it, because first of all, the DA is not the only coalition partner. There are 9, excluding the ANC. So in other words, the ANC invited these 9 political parties to form a coalition government. So therefore, the DA cannot expect to be given preferential treatment. That is point number 1. Point number 2, the bone of contention here is not necessarily the list of other issues that the DA has been complaining about, which issues are still being ventilated in other forums. Right now, the focus is on the budget. They must focus on that and then deal with the other issues separately. So mix these issues in the manner they've done shows political immaturity from my side. Mm-hmm.
As you and I speak, Professor, the GNU is still intact as far as we know. We heard DA leader John Steenhuisen also speaking a little bit about the power dynamics, saying that they as a party are not privy to a general power-sharing relationship, which has proven problematic in terms of sharing power and importance. I mean, how will they navigate around that?
The reason why it's so difficult for the DA and the ANC to find each other is because they are not ready for coalition politics. I don't think they understand what a coalition government entails and how to maintain it and sustain it. Because if they did, the manner in which they've handled the budget speech should have been something totally different. You recall that not so long ago, I was with some of your colleagues saying that, in fact, crying foul, that the president during the January 8 statement said that the ANC is still in charge because many of the ministers come from the ANC, many of the deputy ministers come from the ANC, both the president and the deputy president come from the ANC. In terms of factual detail, the president was right, but those statements were unwarranted. And this, in fact, offended the DA because the DA felt that we have the larger number compared to other coalition partners, but now the ANC is not recognizing our presence. That is why they are doing what they are doing now. So both the ANC and the DA are to blame for the current situation. This could have been easily avoided if they had shown political maturity.
We know that there's a period of 5 days that has been allocated where they will conclude the period of negotiations on the budget as the NWC does what it says is resetting the button, engaging all the other political parties, those within and outside the GNU. What are the options as those considerations are made, given the current dynamics?
You know, Mpo, if I had it my way, the only thing we're supposed to do would be to go for a fresh election. Because honestly speaking, I don't think as a country we are ready to maintain this coalition politics. So therefore, this means that it doesn't really matter which coalition partner you bring on board. In this case, we are talking about the ANC and the DA having a go at each other. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, the DA exits the stage, which will then create a space for the EFF to come on board, because the EFF is clear. As long as the DA and the Freedom Front Plus are part of the coalition government, they're not going to go there. If then the DA were to leave, you bring in the EFF, it will also come with its own demands.
Yep.
Will the ANC be mature enough to maintain that coalition? I'm not too sure. So that is why, if I had it my way, we'd just go for a fresh election and then see how things would pan out.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on these discussions. Wrapping up with political analyst Professor Bheki Mngomezulu, giving us a sense of what's at stake and what the options could be as the GNU is under scrutiny.